NDC on January 24, 2023 named the Ejumako Enyan Esia Member of Parliament, Dr. Kezia Latoforsen, and the Member of Parliament for Lembele, Emmanuel Ama Kofibua, as Minority Leader and Deputy Minority Leader respectively to replace Haruna Idrisu and James Kluche Aveji, while Kwame Agboja also replaced Asawasi MP Muntaka Mubarak as the Minority Chief Whip. The shake-up in the minority leadership has caused growing disquiet among NDC members of parliament as some appear unhappy with the decision. It was gathered that about 60 members of the Minority Caucus signed a petition to appeal to the executives of the NDC to suspend the reshuffle for further engagement, while another 77 members of the caucus also signed a petition endorsing the current leadership. On Thursday, January 26, 2023, the new leadership of the caucus addressed the media, with the minority leader Dr. Kezia Latoforsen assuring of his commitment to unite members of the caucus.
I have held fruitful and positive conversation, in fact, frank conversation, with my senior brother, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu. I commended him for his admirable leadership and stewardship when he was granted the opportunity by our great to lead. It will be my duty to represent our collective goals in particular, with an unwavering dedication and, most importantly, with high integrity. I have no doubt that with the support of the entire minority caucus in Parliament, we shall succeed. May the God Almighty guide us and bless us all. But let me also add that our first responsibility is to unite the caucus, and that will be number one on the agenda.
He also outlined three key areas that the caucus would focus on for the next 1 month in the discharge of its duties in Parliament.
Most importantly, I will focus the next month to tackle three things. First, I wish to first of all send a message to the MPP that the people of Ghana are calling on them to downsize their government, to reflect the mood of the country. You are asking people to forgo their coupons or interest, asking the ordinary Ghanaian to sacrifice his payout. And so therefore, if His Excellency the President intends to reshuffle his government, let it be known that we in the NDC will not accept an attempt to increase the size of government. And if the current size of his ministers increase by one, that one person may not receive our cooperation. And in the end, we also wish to assure the people of Ghana that as part of our engagement with the Finance Committee and the Health Committee, we have agreed to do public hearing on the audit of the COVID-19 expenditure, public hearing, beginning on the 7th of February 2023. At that point, we will pay due diligence to the duties given to us as the people of Ghana. And then finally, we will also embark on a roadshow where we will galvanize the people of Ghana and educate them on the meaning of what this economic crisis is going to take us through. But to conclude on this matter, I will appeal to the rank and file of our great NDC party to keep calm. Members of Parliament are in good hands. We will work with them with due diligence. Obviously, we are not new in this house. I've been in this house for 14 years. I know the capabilities of all our colleagues. Some I met, some came to meet me. I have worked closely with most of our colleagues, and I can assure you that together we shall succeed.
Later, the newly appointed leaders of the Minority Caucus in Parliament paid a courtesy call on the national executives of the NDC at its headquarters at Adabraka in Accra.
We have also recognized that the work that they've given to us will require dedication and obviously a lot more than just sitting there. So we have said that we will deliver on just that. And then obviously we have agreed with the leadership of our party that beginning from today, there will be a series of activities that we will be undertaking. The Minority Caucus will have a maiden meeting with our leadership and the party leadership on Tuesday, 31st of January 2023. It is our hope that on that meeting we'll resolve all outstanding concerns. And we also wish to assure our former leaders that this leadership will work with them in good faith. And we know, obviously, that the Honorable Haruna's leadership chalked a lot of successes, and we recognize that all of us are product under his leadership. Honorable Muntaka is a stalwart, and we in this leadership will often defer to them as long as decisions are concerned and to seek their input before final decisions will be made.
We appreciate that the work ahead is going to require a lot of input coming from them. And of course, they understand that as a wing of the party, they need to work very closely with the leadership of the party to ensure that we can deliver the aspirations of our people, and especially being able to do what Ghana requires of us, which is to work towards taking out of power the most abysmal, the most incompetent, the most corrupt government in the history of our country. And so we've had a beautiful conversation with them. We've also signaled to them that early next week, on Tuesday, we'll be having a broader conversation with the caucus as a whole. And that conversation is one that would basically confirm the decisions that have been taken in terms of explaining the way forward, for us as a party, and the best way to be able to make sure we deliver the mandate that has been given to us, a mandate that will ensure the well-being of the people of Ghana come election 2024.
Meanwhile, some of the NDC MPs who signed a petition to reject the decision by the national executive of the party to reshuffle its leadership in Parliament has petitioned the Council of Elders, National Executive Committee, and the leader of the party, John Dramani Mahama, to suspend the action. The disgruntled members believe the decision by the party is unfair and unpopular as no consultations were made.
We are equally concerned that the letters that were issued were not the decision of the party. Our party as NDC has about 4 decision-making groups. First, the Congress, where all delegates meet to take decision. Second is the National Executive Committee, that's NEC. And then third is the Functional Executive Committee. It is when this group take decision, then you get the General Secretary and the principal officers implement. Then we also have the Council of Elders, even though our constitution says that they are advisory. Sometimes, periodically, they also give directions and then the party tries to implement. We are firm, because I serve as on FEC, I serve on NEC, I go to Council of Elders as an observer, and I'm also on the political committee as an observer. Congress, all of us as members of parliament are members of Congress. And the minority leader is also on all these levels. At no such meeting was there any agenda to discuss this. So it is clear that it is a letter, yes, written by the General Secretary, but the decision may be just the decision. Our plea is that when this petition gets to the Council of Elders, we hope that they will help fast-track a reconciliation and a meeting that will help us resolve all this before Parliament resumes, so that we don't have to saddle ourselves with this controversy. When MPP is really messing up completely, there are so many issues that we need to be focusing, which this is not the time for us to be focusing in the internal division among us, and I don't think that's healthy for us at all. One or two things we did not do. So I just want to urge our colleagues that they shouldn't be in a hurry. If this caucus really wants to have a change and have them as leaders, they can count on our support.
The Member of Parliament for Zabila in the Upper East region says until Parliament is officially notified of the reshuffle, the position of the old leadership remains.
Is this when the Speaker reads a letter to Parliament, the letter he has received from the Secretary of the party that indicating the reshuffle. It is when that letter is read to members of the House that it can take effect. As at now, we have already said we are not there. So as far as we are concerned, the current leaders of the House, Honorable Haruna Idris, Muntaka and co, are deemed to still be in office. Now, the purpose of this press conference, as I've indicated, is to try to maintain cohesion in the party, is to try to ensure that we remain as a body, that we still are an appealing group to the Ghanaian populace, and that they should trust us for December 2024. So our petition is going to the Council of Elders of the NDC. We are petitioning the Council of Elders of the NDC with a copy to the National Executive, with a copy to the Speaker of Parliament, and a copy of the said petition to the former flag bearer, Honorable John Dramani Mahama. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The basis for our petition is a prayer to suspend the reshuffle indicated by the National Executive of the party until such time,
The General Secretary.
Signed by the General Secretary of the party. The petition is signed by the General Secretary of the party. The basis of our petition is to appeal to them to suspend the suspension exercise until such time that there's a holistic meeting of stakeholders and consultation before we take a decision. We are saying so against the backdrop that the National Executive Committee of the party a few weeks ago decided that all appointees in the party and in Parliament should remain in office until after we have concluded the parliamentary primaries and the flag bearer primaries on the 13th of May this year. That all office holders and appointees should remain in office until the primaries are over. We are therefore surprised that the primaries are not yet taken place, they are yet over, and a reshuffle is hitting the caucus of Parliament. We think that that is premature.
So the newly appointed leaders of the minority caucus in Parliament also ended their rounds with a visit to the residence of the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagben, at Oyarifa in the Greater Accra region.
Leading the engagement the whole day, and as part of this engagement we visited the Speaker's residence. Again, just a courtesy call. I have to say that we were warmly received. We also have benefited from his wise counsel, and so we are very encouraged by it. We've thanked him for that. Thank you very much.
What was his message to you?
Well, you know, our priority right now is to make sure that we unite our caucus. That's our number one priority. And that is so important to us. Of course, you cannot lead when your crowd, your people are not united. And that's our singular focus. And we are confident we will do that.
Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ni Ayukweyi Okain.